Welcome to Visualize, the podcast where collaboration fuels change. I'm your host, Chris Baker, and each week we'll explore incredible connections between nonprofits, businesses, and the community. This is a space where we highlight inspiring partnerships, uncover strategies for creating meaningful impact, and share stories that show how working together can make all the difference. Whether you're a nonprofit leader, a business owner, or someone just passionate about building connections, this podcast is for you. Welcome back to Visualize. Today we have a special guest all the way from Palm Beach, which is fantastic. So welcome, Nancy Stellway from Take Stock in Children of Palm Beach.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So how did you get started in nonprofits?
I was actually a stay-at-home mom for about 12 years, and my husband was mentoring a young man in the Take Stock in Children program, and he would come home and tell me these amazing conversations that he was having with this low-income student that needed guidance. While I was making photocopies at my kid's school, feeling that I wasn't really contributing in any meaningful way. And so I signed up to be a mentor, and I got assigned to Paula, who had immigrated here from Cuba. She'd come here with her father, and I mentored her. She changed schools 4 times in 4 years, and I followed her to every school. And what I really learned was more about myself and my parenting style while mentoring her. And then when she graduated high school, Take Stock in Children had an opening, and I decided now that my kids were a little older, I'd go back to work. So I went back to work part-time. And at that time, our organization was going through some changes, and the opportunity arose for me to work full-time. And so I started as an advocate, then I was a program manager, a mentor manager, and then I became executive director 15 years ago.
Wow. Where is she today?
She is a doctor living in Miami, and she's got 2 kids, and she's doing phenomenal.
That's an amazing story. Like, you're actually able to change not only your life, but you also got to change someone else's life. And it completely transformed where she got to go and who she has become. I love that.
Yeah, she knew when she came to the States, she didn't really know our education system. She knew English, but she didn't know how to navigate our education system and then how to get into college. Because again, she was working through residency issues at the time as well. But yeah, she went to FIU, graduated in 4 years, and then went to medical school.
And you stayed in contact with her the entire time?
While in high school, we met every single week.
Okay.
During the school year. Once she went to college, it became a little less. And then once she got married, now we're Facebook friends and,
Sure.
and things like that. But it's more messaging at this point. But yeah, she's doing great.
That's super, super amazing that even though it may not be all the time, but you're still in contact with them. You get to see how their life has progressed and how that they've changed. Wow, that's just an amazing story.
Yeah, and my husband's mentee, he actually mentored 2 young men, but both of them went on to earn bachelor's degree in college, and he also stays in touch with them. And so it's just really rewarding that it's not just a one and done. You're actually building a relationship with the kids, and you get to see it come full circle.
So with these kids that you've actually had the opportunity to connect with and help grow and mentor them, how often do they come back to the organization, in different ways? Because I'm sure that does happen.
Right. So they do sign a contract with us while they're in high school. And once they go to college, obviously they're outside the parameters of that contract. Mm-hmm. I would say 90% of our mentors and mentees do stay in touch. Mm-hmm. The most rewarding thing is when they come back and say, I want a mentor. And that happens at least once a week. We get a phone call that says, I just graduated college, or I'm even in college. Can I mentor someone and pay it back? So that is when we know that we're doing the right thing. They recognize that this wasn't just a handout. We are a family. You're a part of our family. You'll forever be a part of our family. Now, how can we help, the next student step up?
Oh, that sounds so rewarding. Like, honestly, it was like changing someone's life in such a meaningful way that they're actually coming back full circle and saying, how can I mentor? Like, that to me, you must have the best job ever.
I don't have a job.
That's
It's
right.
passion, right?
There
And
you
so,
go.
any given week, I'll get a message from a child that says, Florida Crystals sponsored me. I'm now working for Florida Crystals. And I'm like, send me a picture. I got to forward it to them because they want to see that success as well, that their investment really paid off in these kids. But yes, some of these kids, you build such a deep relationship with them. I have one young lady that comes back every single year just to sing the Star Spangled Banner at all of our events, even though she's going to FAU, because they build that relationship with us and they want to come back and support the younger students in our program.
Oh my gosh. So let's talk a little bit more about the program itself and the structure, because like I love everything you guys are doing, but I want to learn a little bit more. How does the organization, how do you get the mentees besides them, coming back, which is great. But how is it all put together?
So we're in over 59 schools in Palm Beach County. And so we start by working with guidance counselors and teachers at the school to help identify students. So it is a very lengthy application that they do. It has a student component as well as a parent component. Because we have direct access to the School District of Palm Beach County's database, we also check their grades, behavior, attendance, because we want to make sure that we are working with a student that has the ability to graduate high school and go to college. And once they submit the application, we do require proof of financial eligibility. 100% of our kids live at or below the federal poverty guidelines.
Okay.
And then they're interviewed. And the whole purpose of the interview is just to make sure they're buying into the program, that they want to meet with a mentor, that they want to start exploring college. And then after that, the student and the parent do sign an agreement with us. We're high accountability. They sign an agreement to maintain their grades, A's, B's, and C's only, meet with a mentor weekly, and remain crime and drug free.
Oh.
And so once they come into the program, we recruit 6th through 9th grade. Then we stay with them through college completion with no drop off of services.
Wow.
So it is a really long-term relationship that we're building.
Yeah, but the impact that you're making on someone that's going to actually have a mentor, I think about going back to my high school days and my college days, I never had anyone to kind of keep me accountable. And so that is a very interesting thought process to go, hey, I have somebody that I can rely on, somebody that I can turn to when things are getting rough, things are getting hard, don't know how to handle this. It probably would have put me in a different seat. And honestly, I grew up probably on that borderline poverty level for in Minnesota. So I probably could have been one of your guys's
when some of our students first meet their mentor, their first question is, will I see you next week? Because they don't have someone that sometimes, for some of our kids, that are constant in their life. It's been a revolving door.
Yeah.
And so for some of our kids, they just want that continuity of someone to speak to, share their life experience with them. And when things come up, how do I navigate this situation? So many times mentors are afraid of mentoring because they feel that they have to tutor or do something that's really uncomfortable. And what I tell them is, you're sharing your path. Your path wasn't straight either, right? So you share that with the kids and tell them it's okay that the path isn't straight. It can wind. Share with them how you would resolve an issue with a teacher, or, we have kids that don't even know traffic laws, right? And so, if you get pulled over by a police officer, what do you do? If you jaywalk, is that against the law? But just sharing common things that as adults we know, but our kids are not taught.
Well, you think about all of the, people that have come over here from other countries, they don't have the same rules and structures and, everything in place. So when they come here,
right,
they're coming here fresh. They don't fully understand it. So that's very empowering to have somebody that you can turn to.
Right.
And like you said, it's not all mentoring and tutoring and all these other things, but sometimes just being there.
There's a young man that I think of a few years ago, and he, one day after school, got in the back seat of a car, and they had rolled up on a 7-Eleven. We're getting ready to make some very poor decisions. But he had the know-it-all to pick up the phone. He texted his mentor, And he said, I'm in a car with these people. This is getting ready to happen. And the mentor said, get out of the car now. And luckily the student listened and he got out of the car. Because had he stayed in that car, he would have been arrested with everyone else. He would have been removed from our program, lost his scholarship, and FSU would have rescinded his acceptance. But luckily his mentor was there and the child was open to hearing, he had someone that he could rely on. He didn't have a good role model in his family that he could do that because his brother was incarcerated. So he couldn't reach out to his brother and say help.
Right.
So it's little things like that when you need something, that you have someone that you could reach out to that's in your corner.
Well, it's also somebody that you can trust.
Absolutely.
Because honestly, depending on the situation, like, it can be hard to trust anybody. And the longer that the mentor is with them, the stronger that trust is, the stronger they have the resilience to go, you know what, I am going to listen to this person and get out of that car.
Right.
Instead of staying there and potentially make a very poor choice.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't even know where to start with that one. That one's it's an amazing story, like understanding how much someone else can care for someone else by just being there. You know what I mean?
Right. Or if a child needs to have an interview for a job and reach out to you to say, hey, do you have any tips or advice for me?
Absolutely.
Because, their parents many times aren't able to help them. And so whether your answer is right or wrong, you're there to support them and be their biggest cheerleader and biggest supporter. And sometimes that's all they need, is just to be heard, to be accepted for who they are.
All right, so we're going to change the topics a little bit, but so this is an amazing program. I love this, and especially because it's long term. It's not something that's just, we're here to supply you with these tools and, here's the door to get you to the next stage. You're walking with them the entire stage through college.
Right. So they get the mentor.
Yep.
We also provide them with college readiness coaching. So we go into the school every month. We pull them out of class. We meet with them individually, working on college readiness, goal setting, career pathways. We take them on college tours. We do SAT prep for them. But the real carrot of the program is every single student, the minute they enter our program, we give them a Florida prepaid tuition scholarship. So it's not maybe you get a scholarship, it's yours.
Wow.
It already has your name on it. Now it's yours to lose if you don't finish the program.
Sure.
But college now is affordable because we're taking the financial burden away. And so when you can change that mindset of, I don't think I can afford to go, so why prep for college, to I already have a scholarship. What other 6th, 7th, 8th grader has a college scholarship that early?
No, it's not.
Right.
So this is like you're talking about, this is 8 to 10 year program with the student.
Correct.
So you're giving them structure for the most pivotal moments of their future.
Right.
This is an amazing.
And even when they go to college, if they have financial issues or issues at college, they'll call us to say, I'm out of Florida prepaid credits. I really want to finish my degree. And even though we've already given them one, I do my best to give them some additional credits. I want them to have a little skin in the game.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important that they not go into major debt or withdraw and have debt and have no ability to pay it back. So we do everything we can to support them until they earn that post-secondary credential.
That's amazing.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Visualize. We hope that the inspiration and practical insights can help you foster stronger connections and meaningful change. Don't forget to subscribe, share the episode, and leave us a review. To learn more about Visuals by Momo and how we support collaboration and storytelling, visit visualsbymomo.com. A huge thank you to everyone out there listening. Until next time, remember, collaboration fuels change, and your connections can inspire the world.